Icy logic, dude. He's got the icy logic. I guess my name is pretty lame too. Bulletproof ICC. Fucking lame.
You're literally bulletproof. That's poggers.
I'm so poggin', dude. Oh, I made this name like 10 years ago though, so doesn't count.
And you never moved on from it. That's just your name now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know
Wow.
what
Wasn't looking.
what name I could use. Okay.
The dank spark within.
The dank spark within, that's right. Okay. I guess I'll just castle. And we'll play c5. Y tú también, y tú también. I'm just gonna capture that. Let me just capture everything. Ah, this is reminding me. I feel like I played this game against the same guy. Fuck. Okay, I think a6 is a good move. This seems risky. e4. If one knight takes, you're in a pin. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna go bishop e6 though. Or do I? Yeah, I thought the problem here was knight d4. Maybe I'm wrong though. Knight takes e6, knight c2. Doesn't quite. Oh, wait. Knight d4, knight e6, knight c2, knight c7, knight takes rook, takes take. I think I get out on b3.
And I don't think it comes from 50 Cent. I think it sort of all that music comes from 3 6 Mafia, who are, I consider, the most influential group of individuals from both the 90s and this time, and they only went as high as number 13 on the Billboard charts with Stay Fly in 2005. But 50 Cent is very important because 50 Cent was someone who was incredibly popular in the suburbs. Incredibly so. And he was popular. Indie Club came out, I think, 2003. And he has 7 number 1 hits from 2003 to 2005. Insane dominance. And 50 Cent he's not the start of this, but he's a great modern example of this phenomenon, which is, for lack of a better term, street rap, which can broadly include what 50 Cent was doing all the way to trap a few years later and then drill music now, which is street music which, for kids in the suburbs, for kids who are insulated from this, for kids who don't even know anyone who's doing any of this, becomes very exciting and a way to vicariously live this lifestyle. But what I thought was interesting.
There we go. I think that's a blunder.
50 Cent never had a number 1 hit again after 2000.
Take.
And when you look back at 50 Cent and G-Unit, they really fit that moment of the lead up and the classical war portion of the Iraq War. 50 Cent he was charming, he was a strapping, charismatic, but swaggering guy. He even would talk about how George W. Bush is gangster.
Yeah, he was a big fan of Bush.
He knew what he was doing there. He was winking to his suburban audience and being like, "No, you're me too. Because if you like Bush, you're me too. We're the same thing." And that was the greatest gift you could have given those kids.
And there was also something, I guess, for as dominant as they were, and like you said, 7 number 1 hits, 50 Cent and G-Unit. I mean, it was a return to a villain, someone who is playing the heel in popular culture, but also if you're talking about the first term of the Bush administration, there was something self-awarely, sort of and ironically, appropriating the military, with G-Unit,
yes.
but there was also not appropriating the valor of the military, appropriating the absolute nihilistic and mercenary violence of the military as something that was cool and funny.
Better watch how you talk when you talk about me, 'cause I'll come and take your life away. Many men.
Yes.
Didn't he do a
Oh,
fucking video game about shooting up the Middle East?
Yeah, it was called 50 Cent Blood in the Sand. And it was about how he went to the Middle East to do a
Wait, what?
They were supposed to pay him with a diamond, but it got stolen. And so
I didn't know that happened.
5 million Arabs with Tony Ayo.
That's kind of awesome. I think I just
But
keep developing.
so
I should win
I
here.
started going from here. I started sort of tugging at the string. And what's interesting here is 50...
Did you know 50 Cent made a...
Is that the music
He-
that
Bryce Hall.
What?
crosses over.
He made a video, an Xbox 3...
Bryce Hall.
Yeah, no, not Bryce Hall.
Oh, you didn't see the Bryce Hall one?
No.
He did something with Bryce Hall. He did a little TikTok dance.
50 Cent made a... I don't know if he made this game, but he's in it. It's an Xbox 360 game called Blood on the Sand. And it's about the Iraq War.
I think I played that. Oh, no, I didn't play that one.
It was pretty solid. That's amazing. Okay, do I just... Pow, pow. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Just know, you better watch how you're talking when you're talking about him, because he'll come and take your life away. I don't really know how to execute him. Could just start trading pieces with 95. So that's probably a good idea. We go queen d6 here. Queen d7. Queen d6. Makes sense. I guess we go queen f6. Hit the pawn. Maybe we drop the bishop back to. Hmm.
Into like white America. Oftentimes, whether it's sort of intentional with 50 Cent or unintentional, becomes like a reflection of what we think a man should be. But more specifically, what we think a soldier should be. So 50 Cent does fit this like Pat Tillman image of the soldier. So does the game. So do like other people in 50 Cent's orbit. But as the war on terror becomes less something you
That's the
root for
game.
and more something you ignore, that goes away.
But no, Kim, I want to get into the new novel and this piece you wrote for the Financial Times about climate change, and it's a topic that we've mostly avoided talking on the show because I don't think despair is particularly entertaining. But what I liked about your piece in the Financial Times, much like your novels, is I
G5.
think you do a very good job of speaking clearly about
You play rook d3 or
dire
queen d3.
severity of what we face without succumbing to or indulging in a kind of
Might be able
apocalyptic
to.
reverie.
Do
And
it.
you end the piece with a quote that's
Do it, pussy.
often sent around. I forget who it's originally attributed to, but I remember Zizek saying it. But you say, it's easier to imagine the end of the world than it is to imagine the end of capitalism. But when it comes to climate change, we are essentially talking about one or the other, right?
No, no, that's not
Okay.
right. No, the whole end of the world imaginary is a little bit
I keep
misstated.
playing.
Devastating impacts to human civilization, a mass extinction event. These are possible
Oh, he's up top. No.
bad outcomes given where we are now. And I think it's just shorthand. What they mean, end of the world, is end of the world that we know, end of the middle class American world, end of the familiar world, end of the biosphere that existed, from approximately from the end of the Ice Age till now. So it's a little bit of shorthand or telegraph, or like a bumper sticker on a car. But in a longer conversation, you don't have to indulge in that. I know Zizek and Fred Jameson, my teacher, are what they're trying to do is point out the weaknesses in apocalyptic thinking. That, oh yeah, let's imagine the end of the world because we can't figure out the next political economy. and it's a kind of laziness. It's a kind of comfort food. Like things might be bad now, but since it's going to be worse later, then now we can glory in how we are in our current moment. As bad as it is, it's not as bad as our poor suffering descendants are going to have. So the slogan is designed to attack the weakness of our sliding into apocalyptic thinking when really there's good constructive work that could be done. And the end of capitalism is not inconceivable at all. It's just more a matter of how would you get from here to there. And that's where I think everybody begins to fall apart. We know the world situation right now, and then you can imagine all kinds of better alternatives, but how would you get from here to there? And so it's an absence of a plausible future history that I think is the
Give me the
problem
loot.
in our imaginary. It was very important to me in Ministry for the Future to try to sketch out that kind of a future. And it's an interesting problem because it's not going to be a fast solution, nor is it going to be a single kind of silver bullet fix. And it's going to look like we're failing for maybe decades. And it'll often be reported as a failure, and the apocalyptic imagination will kick into gear. I wanted to sketch out a
Check,
best case scenario that you could still believe in. So a lot of bad things are going to happen. They're already baked in. And we're seeing it this summer. The climate disasters have been quite astounding and shocking. I guess I would say I've seen some of them myself being here in California, and I'm shocked and dismayed. And one can easily give in to despair. But
Oh, damn, that shit
a
was
best
deep.
case scenario also includes the work of civilization squeaking out of
Are you
this.
watching my
It's
opponent play
kind of a
chess?
full employment program, as my book makes clear.
Yeah.
There's more good
Okay.
work to be done than there are even people to do it.
Because yeah, dude, he's
And
playing.
so
I'm watching him
that
own
kind of
you.
story
He's
being
playing
told
some
about
really
how
deep chess, like really.
robotics and
Just never
automation is
seen.
going to get rid of all meaningful human work is
Never
really a
seen a
kind of
player play better chess
dystopian
than this, really.
category error of a mistake about the future. Certain kinds of mechanical assemblage
Probably not even trying
will
either.
be done by robots.
I don't think he
because
is.
that was robotic work to begin with. Certain kinds of human work might be replaced by automated processes that we've also developed, and that's other workers developing that. But the amount of sheer human work left to do to squeak out of this century without a mass extinction event is huge, and it will be meaningful work. This is something I often say to younger audiences, and I'm really glad that you brought it up.
Fucking idiot. He
There's
played
a
that in like
difference
20 seconds.
between
I hate this guy.
doing
He just blundered his queen.
service work in a capitalist economy at the minimum wage that won't make you enough to have a decent life, and meaningful work that is helping the decarbonization project of building a better post-capitalist civilization that's in balance with the biosphere. That kind of work, if it can make you a living, that is a rather wonderful turn of events in the way things have been going. And since almost every generation is younger than me now.
Yeah,
The
we
younger
win, we
generation,
win.
born in the latter part
Oh
of
yeah,
the
let's
20th
go.
century, and also the millennials born at the start of this
Cheers to
century,
winning.
we're going to be living through all this. There needs to be a goal. There needs to be hope. There needs to be a project described of how it can be done. So even though my novel is just a utopian novel where for every good event, I try to present a bad event because it's going to feel like that. But also, an awful lot of things go right in my novel. Well, that's okay. Someone needs to tell that story.
Is there anyone from that period that you still talk to? I mean, I know, your father-in-law. That's your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Like that's family. But like anyone, you haven't talked to Joe Carey in a while.
I never really knew Joe Carey. I met the guy like twice. I'd like to kick that guy's ass. He's a fucking coward motherfucker. And he's a corrupt motherfucker. Sorry.
No,
All right.
don't
If I ever
apologize.
see him, I'm kicking his ass. I'm off probation. I can do it. That fucker will cry. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah. I was reading up on Carey before this, and the writing on him is hilarious. It's like he's a super democratic strategist. He worked for Carter's reelection campaign.
Yeah.
Then he ran Mondale's campaign in the Midwest, where he lost every single state except Minnesota.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's close to Gore. He used to brag to me about Gore. I've met this guy like 3 times, maybe 2 in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. But yeah, he was supposedly a Gore guy. And then when the pressure came on, he just like totally crumbled and would say whatever they wanted to say.
That's right.
You know, and look, I think there's a responsibility
Okay.
when you know
That's
there's
the right one.
wrongdoing
Yeah.
to do it. You know, that's like that's in prison. That's like they'll fuck you up if you're a snitch. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't
So,
think
let's
that's
see.
wrong. When there's wrongdoing, I think you have an obligation to.
In politics, yeah.
Oh, it's D4, knight f3.
So I don't want to be too critical of that, but he's just a sniveling, coward, hypocrite, corrupt guy who made a lot of money being a cheater and a corrupt coward on other people's stuff.
G6. He plays
Just wanted no
E3.
backbone to, to do what he did on other people. And whatever he said about me had no impact on my case because none of that stuff was even charged. But in the second trial anyway, it was ridiculous stuff in the first trial. I don't even know if that was his stuff, but I met a lot of guys like that in prison. You know, it's funny because my wife Patty and my kids would come and visit me, sometimes. In the beginning, it was maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and then as time went by, it was maybe once a year or once every 18 months. It's just because it's harder for them. It's hard for the kids to go have to
I
then
played
get a taste of their dad and then have to leave,
Yeah.
right? And so
Castle.
it was better the way it evolved.
We just captured
we were visits all through
everything.
those years.
Well, we should have played knight
And
C6.
somewhere down.
Oh, but he
road,
took with the knight.
probably, I don't know, the 3rd or 4th year. I think at one of the visits, Patty asked me, maybe I don't even know if she asked me, but I think I may have just told her. I was just telling her about white collar
Okay,
bullshitters and how I felt closer to the drug dealers.
Yeah.
Because they were
A4 is main line, but he
they were
plays.
businessmen and entrepreneurs.
He plays none of those. What did he play? He played like.
Selling a product that was illegal, and they should be held responsible, treated justly, fairly, and mercifully. I believe everybody should.
Knight back to
there should be
F3.
elements of that for everybody, but that they were just better guys. That a lot of these white collar criminals were such fucking bullshitters.
You had Jeff Skilling in there. At the same time you
Jeff
were in
Skilling
there,
was
yeah.
in that higher
So,
security
yeah.
prison with me. He actually, he didn't
Out of
strike
theory
me
at that point.
like I'm describing.
Really?
I didn't really know him that well. I wasn't that close to him, and he insisted he didn't do anything wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that the Arthur Anderson case that was connected to